What is up, everybody? Happy Whoa, That's Good Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week, but per usual, it is about to get so much better because Duck Dynasty The Revival is out and about, and we are so excited that y'all are seeing what we have been doing the past couple months. So today on the podcast, we have the Boss Hog himself, Boss Hog's wife with a recent Instagram change to Korie Robertson. What is your new handle?
Korie.Robertson.
Korie.Robertson. We went from Boss Hog's
going
wife.
basic.
It's the revival.
We went from my wife to a separate name. Or is there trouble?
No.
Is this the next TMZ article?
I made that clear in my post that there's no trouble in paradise.
I didn't see it.
It was just time. I know you didn't see my Instagram post, but I made it very clear.
I can't get used to it. Every time
can't?
I go to type your name in,
Boss Hog.
it doesn't come up because I type in Boss Hog's wife.
Really?
Every time.
Actually, every time I type your name in, I type in mom, then I'm like, nope. Do y'all do that? I'm always like to mama.
Sometimes,
mom.
but with Instagram, I always type in Boss Hog's
Boss
wife.
Hog's
Boss Hog's wife. And as you can hear, we have Bella on the podcast too. We are doing a little episode recap. But mom, speaking to your Instagram name change a little bit more. What was the sudden change?
So, tell me what the problems
it wasn't
are.
sudden. There's been years that I've been like, should I change it? Because whenever I first wrote it, whenever everyone got on Instagram, I remember everybody's was like, y'all can tell some of y'all's early Instagram names.
Okay, well, I can officially tell mine now because it's finally gone.
Oh, good.
I have not said this for years because I didn't want anybody to find this.
Yeah.
But my Instagram handle was The Real Slim Sadie.
You got it gone?
I did.
She got it gone.
It's somewhere out there. I had a name change.
Yes.
That no one will discover. And it's private. So even if you do discover it, you can't follow it.
Yes.
And I did delete certain
That was your
things.
original Instagram. See, okay, do you have any original you want to share?
I mean, Bella Bieber.
Bella Bieber.
Bieber was not your Instagram.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah. There was a time.
It was. See,
Lunch,
okay.
2002.
Lunch 2002.
Tylenol 568.
Wait, why was Tylenol?
That was my
obsessed
Webkinz
with
password.
Tylenol. That's good.
Remember, she
I was
got
at
obsessed with
Webkinz.
Tylenol for a
Grape
minute.
Tylenol, but I spelled it Talanal.
Tylenol.
See,
Tylenol.
so what I'm trying to say here is no one sticks with their first name that they put on Instagram. I
Well,
somehow
yours is a lot
did
better
for
than-
years, for 15 years, and I just felt like it was time to just
And now with our
Just
marriage
be
in
basic.
trouble, you switched it more to
No.
a singular.
in my
I was going to
post-
switch mine to Lone Wolf after I saw you do that.
Well, you're just Boss Hog. You're not. You're not. I don't know what would it be. Corey's husband, are you?
Is that what my name
Corey's?
is?
Yeah.
Is it Boss Hog?
You're
What am I? What
real
is
Willie.
Real Willie Boss Hog.
You're real Willie.
Real
Boss Hog.
Willie.
Kind of a long
When mom
one.
wanted to change hers, she said, no one knows that dad's Boss Hog. I'm like, his Instagram name is Boss Hog. Willie Boss
Real
Hog.
Willie Boss
and yours
Hog.
is
I
Boss
forgot
Hog
about that.
Fight.
But back
That's
then, people called you Boss Hog a lot because that was like back in the Buck Commander days.
Back in the day,
You
when I
might
was
should consider your
hoggish.
name
I was
change.
more
And I was
hoggish
like,
back
yeah,
then.
maybe you should change your name too.
Actually, I'm
To
just
like
thinking
Corey's
about
husband or something
Yeah.
like that.
Corey's husband.
my Instagram
Slim
name.
Shady. Oh, who was Slim Shady?
Slim
You were
Sadie.
Sadie. Oh, Slim
Sadie.
I forgot
And
about
Bella
this. No, I
Bieber?
had the real Slim Sadie, and then my bio was, "Will the real Slim Sadie please stand up?" with the emoji of the girl raising her hand. Tough.
Very
Okay.
creative.
But then
That was creative.
Okay, but then when I got my public page, it was Live Original Sadie Rob with underscores under every word. Way too long. And I'll never forget, it was during the Dance with the Stars press. We were on our way to the Today Show, and Alfonso was about to follow me, and he was like, "What's your Instagram name?" And I was like, Live Original Sadie Rob. He goes, "No." He goes, "No, that is way too long." He's like, he said, "Nobody is going to be looking that up." He said, "You need to change that name right now." And I was trying to think about what I could change my name to. And remember me and John David used to be like so close. He would always look at me and be like, "Hey, you're too legit to quit." And I don't know why in that moment I thought of too legit to quit. And so I was like, legit Sadie Rob, change my name. And
Is it
been that
still
ever
legit
since.
Sadie Rob?
Was like
Legit
when
Sadie Rob.
People, there was before the blue check mark, so you would have to put like
Official or real.
like Dad's
Right.
real Willie Boss Hog, because it
Yes.
was like
Not the
you had to
fake.
be the real one.
That's
or
what I was
whatever.
thinking about.
So that was
and then
probably
I
what you were
thought
doing.
about too legit.
Yeah.
Why
like
didn't the
fashion,
fake people
Instagram
put,
name styles change, and I was kind of stuck in the old. So Revival. The show is called Revival. Coming up with something new.
The revival is bringing all new things. Okay, can y'all believe that it is finally here? That the revival is out in the world. This is crazy.
Yes and no. Yes, because we have been working on this for so long. I mean, really, when you look back, when did we shot the sizzle? February 2024. We probably talked about it for a year before that.
Well, hang on. You made that sound like, I mean, it was all the way, was it 2024?
Okay,
or
maybe
last
not.
year?
Maybe it was 2023. Was it? Okay,
I was
never.
just say last year, but you made it sound like it was
Edit
like,
that out.
you know. No, edit that in. That's the funniest
I
thing.
was
You're
watching
like,
her and I was like,
it was a long time ago. I think it was Ot 24 when that happened, or 8 months ago. That's my gift. Just picking up on the little.
I was thinking the same.
I was too. I was just gonna let you have it. I was-
I thought it was last
Y'all were
year.
gonna let me have it. You were gonna. You had
You
to.
tried to stretch it where it's at like 2020.
It's been a long year, okay? It's been a long year.
I'm just saying, like, we've been talking about this for a very long time.
It's been forever.
Beyond before we shot
2024.
that, we had another year before we thought thought about it.
2023. We probably
It was on
started
the
talking
list of things to think about for a while. Okay, so anyway,
If we were dogs, it would seem like 10 years ago.
it gave us stomach hurts.
But we're so much older and wiser now.
We
So I feel
are.
like the show's going to be
are.
better now that we
It's
know what we're
true.
It'd be
doing.
so much better. We've
It's
had a whole year to think about it.
2024.
It's true.
Oh my gosh.
The good old days.
Also, are they ever going to show the sizzle to the world? It's so good.
No, they're not.
Oh, that's sad. Sorry, everyone.
What's this?
You don't get to see it. The one that we did.
Oh, the sizzle.
In 2024.
It's so long ago, I forgot about it. Wow. I bet I look younger. It's back before I had a beard.
Okay. I'm gonna let y'all talk for a little while.
Oh, go ahead. You're crushing it.
Oh gosh.
You're crushing it.
So it seems like we've been working on this for a long time. So I'm happy that now it's out. It's like a pregnancy that you've been pregnant for 2 years. So anyway, but we're excited that finally people are going to get to see what we've been
Right.
working on.
What was the question?
I was thinking about, can we
Does it seem
believe
like
we're
a lot?
finally
Yeah, I
here?
can't believe it.
It's crazy because it's been so long, as we've established. Okay. Now, let's get into the recap of episode 1.
Recap.
If you have not watched episode 1, this show is not really a show of like, ooh, spoiler, like you're not gonna, you could still watch it after listening to all this. This actually might make you want to watch it even more. So, shameless plug, A&E, Sunday nights, 8 o'clock. Central, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yay.
What does that mean for?
It's 6
Let everybody else
o'clock.
do the math. No,
Figure
let
it
them-
out
let
on your
them
own
do the
terms.
math on
Pacific,
that.
7
Don't
Mountain.
start on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just did all these promos and I crushed them, which, by the way, I heard you struggled.
I was struggling.
Struggled the second time.
Oh, okay.
First time I crushed. Because originally it was a different date. And we had to go back
Well,
and
that's the problem. Yeah.
shoot them all again with the new date of June 1st. And I was very off.
He
that
was
day.
off.
Well, I haven't done it. I haven't done this in so long. So
John Luke was also very off.
24.
I watched John Luke do his promos for like 30 minutes and there was probably 4 lines to say and it was the funniest thing ever. That's the tape you need to get released. If the sizzle's not coming out, release John
One
Luke's
of our
promo
producers,
shoots.
A&E, she said that John Luke said "live, laugh, love" at one point, and she was like, "I don't even know why I just said that."
He did. He kept, it's like his
It was like
mouth
a couple of L's, and he just went "live, laugh, love."
just kept talking. It was so funny. Well, anyways, it's on Sunday nights. Just started. We are jumping into episode 1 recap. So I guess the biggest thing, well, we won't get to the biggest thing yet. We'll hold that to the end. But the whole thing was kind of around what's happening in the Duck Commander office. And so let's share a little bit about what all is happening here and throw it back to the original show. So the original show was shot here majority of it. And Boss Hog and Boss Hog's wife, y'all run Duck Commander.
Formerly Boss Hog's wife.
Formerly Boss Hog's
Now
wife.
just Korie.
No, I'm still Boss Hog's formerly known as.
Formerly
Now
known
I'm just known as Korie, but I'm still am
Now
Boss
she's
Hog's
just Korie.
That's true. So y'all run Duck Commander, and at the time, Jace was working up here. Jep was working up here. Dad's brothers. Uncle
They were here.
working
up here
is debatable. Uncle Si was working up here, and Martin and Godwin, and they all built duck calls up here. And so if you watch the first show, you see a lot of that. So the unique thing in this show is that, and kind of why I think realized, we could do another Duck Dynasty, is not doing this for TV, actually just in life. Our generation all started working up here. So at this point, Jace doesn't work up here other than they do their podcast, and Jep doesn't work here. Uncle Si is also still here, believe it or not, doing his podcast. But things have shifted. Godwin just retired. Martin's here. So there's some people here, some people aren't here. But in the meantime, because of COVID and the pandemic, I ended up building my podcast studio here. Started working here for that, and then Live Original started growing, so my team grew, and we started kind of working out of here. Bella became the store manager. You want to kind of talk about what all that encompasses, because people see that on the show too. I don't know about you, but when the weather heats up, my sleep can get rough, especially in the third trimester of pregnancy. Tossing and turning, waking up sweaty, no thank you, and that is why I'm excited to tell you about Miracle Made Sheets. These sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so that you can sleep at the perfect temp all night long. Seriously, it's like the sheets know you need what you need before you even do. Plus, they're self-cleaning. They're infused with silver, which prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, which means your sheets stay fresher and cleaner up to 3 times longer. So if you hate doing laundry or just want a cleaner, healthier sleep space, this is a total game changer. And Miracle Sheets don't just do those amazing things. They're also super comfy too, like 5-star hotel comfy, but without the 5-star price tag. So we love that. We honestly noticed a difference. The minute we got Miracle Made Sheets, we're like, man, these are so good. And Christian gets annoyed if those are not the sheets on our bed. So I had to order more so that any washing and putting them on, it was always going to be Miracle Made on our bed. Upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/woe to try Miracle Made Sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40% off. And if you use my promo code WOE at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/woe and use the code WOE to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/woe to treat yourself today.
So about like a year and a half ago, I came to work here as a store manager and was just managing mainly like the store and the tour. And over the year and a half I've been here, I've been doing merch stuff and online stuff and all, just kind of helping out wherever I can. And so I don't know, I do a lot. I got my hand in a lot of different things up here.
By the way, she's crushing it. She has proven herself to do a great job in the store. The merch we have definitely upped our merch game since Bella's been involved.
I was going to say, the merch has dramatically changed.
But you'll see on the show because we all wear it, of course, because we love it.
Yeah.
And so she's done a great job with that. And
I'm just glad that I got the family to start wearing the merch.
The duck merch.
Girls.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
And her office is right beside mine, so it's so much fun. We love that we get to work together now, and she's crushing it. She's constantly coming in, showing me, sliding across a little paper to show me the sales for that month or whatever. And she's just doing a great job and just making this place inviting, because we're always like, okay, this is our storefront, which we didn't even have a store when Duck Dynasty started originally. This was just our warehouse, which is where we are sitting right now. I don't know, do your audience know that this podcast studio is built inside the Duck Commander warehouse?
Yeah. So like the majority of the scene shot of the guys being crazy on Duck Dynasty in the warehouse, that's where this podcast studio is.
Yes.
Now, which is crazy.
Exactly. We didn't even have a storefront when we first started the show. We were just shipping stuff out and people just started showing up here to this warehouse. All the people who watched the show, which was really fun and exciting. And so we were like, oh no, we've got to have a store. The store became a museum and all kinds of things that we have here. But it's like, it's what people come to see, and people drive from all over the country. Literally, you can walk out any day and see a parking lot full of like license plates from all over the country, which is really fun. But it's our first, it's our front facing thing for our audience, and so that has to be good. So Bella's done a great job with that.
Which people did. We had like questions submitted, and we're going to talk about that actually in a different podcast. But one of the questions was, can people come to the store during the summer? And yes, people can and should, and we welcome that coming to the store. You get to see what Bella's been working so hard on. You get to go through the tour, and it's really fun. And then John Luke also works up here. So John Luke is so funny. He does a lot of different things, but he roasts coffee up here. He kind of works on the Tread Lively team, some I feel like, with creative ideas and whatnot, because my mom's podcast company, Tread Lively, is also ran out of Duck Commander warehouse. And so all of a sudden we kind of looked up and it's like, okay, we all work here. And then Mom, you work here on a daily basis. So share a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I have never had a title actually for any of the company. Do you realize that? I feel like whenever the Dynasty first started, they kind of like put me as like office manager because I never really have a title. I just kind of do whatever. And so as Duck Commander has grown and all that, I feel like I've just kind of worn lots of different hats.
You're
but
vice
right now,
president.
is that my title? Thank you. I was just deemed vice president.
Choose that right now.
You just came up with it. I'll take that.
You can call it VP.
Good. Okay. VP.
What did you say that night? Are you saying that because of that night? You don't even remember?
I know what you're
Okay, remember whenever we were watching the news, and this was during election season, and it was talking about like POTUS and like all this stuff, and then Mom was dead asleep on the couch, and they said VP.
Yeah.
And then Mom woke up from her sleep and said VP POTUS.
No, I said K Modus.
Oh yeah, and then she said K
K-Modus.
Modus, like K Mama Modus. Her name on my phone is still K Modus.
No, you said, I don't know what, I've never heard of POTUS. What does that mean? Or something like that. Then we started talking about it. But I was kind of like
You
half
were asleep.
Yeah.
I was talking to Dad about it, and you're like K Modus, and then you went back to sleep. Okay, well you get to be VP.
So anyway, so now I guess I kind of just try to feel like I like have just a little piece of all of the different categories that happen up here. So I just try to kind of like make sure everything's cohesive and everybody's feeling like they have what they need to be successful at their jobs and stuff like that. So I kind of see myself just trying to have a little hand in each thing. But a big part of it is Tread Lively.
I kind of see myself. That is what you do in a very big level.
Well, thank you. Yes. So I guess that is what I do. Yeah. So we have Tread Lively offices up here now. We have Duck Commander, Buck Commander, LO offices, and now, like you said, John Luke's coffee roasting. And we do just a lot of things out of the space, which is kind of unusual and not always easy. There's some stepping on toes, and sometimes when it's like, oh wait, I needed that space, or I thought I was having that space, or that was going to be my office, or whatever. So try to kind of help manage all those things.
There is that.
Yeah, you pretty much like sit in your office and have just a revolving door of people coming in asking questions
your
from every
door's
different
shut,
company.
no.
Everyone comes in and asks something to you, and then by the time I'm in there for an hour, I've seen like 7 people come in and ask you something. I know.
That is
so
true.
funny.
It's so funny too, because this is like not a part of the show, but just in real life, I this past year hired a CEO for LO, and she just so happens to be my mom's best friend of 30 years.
Yes.
And she is like awesome, but she is very like corporate and all those things. And her coming into your office makes me laugh the most.
It is
because
hilarious.
I'm like, y'all.
Because now we have this whole different relationship. We've had this like best friend relationship for 30 years, and now all of a sudden we're working together on another level. So it's super fun.
You should tell her to address you as VP
Oh, I should.
when she comes
RK
in.
Modus.
Yeah.
It was once said that she was my mom's chihuahua, and it really offended her. And then the other day she said, I'm your chihuahua now. I'll fight for you. I was like, that
I'll
is
never
hilarious.
forget.
I know.
She is like a
She's
chihuahua.
embraced the chihuahua.
That's awesome. I love it.
But Dad, you back in the day of Duck Dynasty, you are like the boss hog. You're always the one keeping everybody on task, making sure they're doing their job, which they normally weren't. But you also had fun. You also had fun with it too. You would put on the serious front, but then when you go back and watch the episodes, you're doing a lot of the crazy stuff too. But you're no longer up here on a daily basis, which was what the first episode is kind of all about. Talk a little bit about this season of life you're in your semi-retirement.
Yeah, well, you took over half of the warehouse, so including my office. So I had to. I don't have an office, so when I come up here, I have nowhere to kind of plop, which is why I don't come up here that much. So I'm like Mom, but you have to come find me. Like the revolving door is usually at my house or out in the yard or something. People have to come find me. To have a meeting with me, which I enjoy that. I was thinking back when we were going to buy this, not that far back, not last year, but like really way back, when we were going to buy this, which was a really crazy move for us at the time, this warehouse that was owned by your grandpa, Korie's mom and dad on this. Well, actually, collectively, the family did. They're the brothers and sisters all together, and I remember David Owen, Uncle David, for Korie. He was
John David's dad.
He was the manager here for Howard Publishing, and I'm looking at this giant warehouse, and it was just empty. It just had bookshelves in it, and he goes, "By the end of the day, you won't have enough space up here." And I remember just going, what would I put in here? Like, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, we could not imagine.
I couldn't imagine what would go in this warehouse. I was like,
Right.
We have some duck calls. In fact, when we moved everything from down on the river where we were working out of, Mom and Dad's house, we filled up what would essentially be the size of this room. That was it.
Maybe what would be the size of the store for people who have come to our store.
Yeah.
Probably that's pretty much all we filled up. Yes.
Wow.
I remember
Like a big living room is what it, and I went, man, this was so overkill. Then I thought, this was probably stupid. I bought this building. Like, I didn't need this much space. But he said that. He said, you're not going to have enough space. And
Wow.
essentially looking back on things that people said stuff to you, and it just kind of was like, you know, how they saw that. Because why would he think
something that he believed in us that we didn't even know was there. Like we didn't even necessarily believe in for ourselves. So that was really cool.
You know what's so crazy? Same guy, David Owen. Whenever I did little theater back in the day, like I don't even know how old I was, 12, and maybe even younger. I can't remember how old I was when we did the
like
Christmas play.
11 or 12, yeah.
Okay, so after the play, you go out and like you sign autographs, you know? And I literally remember signing my autograph on David's like playbook, and he said, "This is going to be the first of many autographs you ever sign."
Wow.
He said that.
He's
And
a seer.
he is. He's prophetic. We need to tell him that
we
because
should.
I actually remember
He sold that on eBay recently, which is interesting, I thought.
Recently saw that online, but no, I thought that
super
was
cool.
really cool. So that's really cool that he spoke that over y'all in this place and space. So yeah,
I remember specifically talking about, we were like, we have all this space. Should we rent it out like a storage building for, maybe we could store like people's boats in here. We were just trying to figure out like what to do with this space because it seems
It's
so
huge.
massive and like we would never fill it up. Yeah.
Well, still, like, people come through the museum and they're like, it just keeps on going, doesn't it? And I'm like, this isn't even half of the whole thing. Like,
The whole building.
the building just keeps on going. There's so many different businesses and things in here.
Yeah, and it sat here for, I think, 3 years for sale. And no one, a bunch of people, your dad said a bunch of people looked at it, but no one bought it. And now, but even when we started Duck Dynasty, with no store, what Mom was trying to say was we just sold wholesale. So we just sold 2 stores. We didn't sell directly to the public. So the first little group that came in and wanted to buy something, we gave them a catalog like like what a store would look at. You know, it's like wholesale prices, and I would be like, it's not that price. It's more than that. You know, and so we're trying to figure out how do we sell this stuff retail to people. But even then, I never would have dreamed we'd be sitting in your Live Original studio. You know what I'm saying? That just from that time to that time, even though we had the show that was getting bigger. I guess I knew what podcasts were, but I didn't even, I just couldn't imagine
what
you
that
having
like.
this and John Luke and everybody being spread out and all the podcasts being in here, whatever.
Y'all know what I love? Getting good news. Like when a friend calls with an awesome praise update or my favorite brand drops some next level thing, y'all, it just makes the day better. Well, fam, I got good news for you. AG1 just launched their next gen formula. It is the same simple once-a-day scoop that you've heard me raving about, but now it's clinically backed and packed with upgraded vitamins, minerals, and probiotics. They leveled up, and honestly, it shows. AG1 has been a part of the Huff fam's routine for a while now, and it helps us feel our best without adding any complicated thing to our life. And now knowing they've gone above and beyond with the testing and new clinical trials just makes us love it even more. It's like AG1 grew with us, still simple and still awesome, but even better. So if you've never tried AG1, now is the perfect time. Summer is here, new seasons call for new rhythms, and this new next-gen formula is ready to help you level up too. Christian and I both have seen great impact in our lives from AG1. It's such a simple way to get like real results. For me, just the lack of vitamins always makes me feel so bad. And then it's the complicated thing of like, what vitamins do I need? What do I need more of? But AG1 just covers all the bases and helps you feel great. And it's now clinically backed with an advanced formula. This is the perfect time to try AG1 if you haven't yet, or if you've been drinking AG1 for years now like us. Man, it's a great time to level up with the next gen. That's why we've been partnered for so long, because it just keeps getting better. So subscribe today to the next gen of AG1. If you use my link, you'll also get a free bottle of AG D3K2 and AG1 welcome kit, and 5 free upgraded AG1 travel packs with your first order. So make sure to go check out drinkag1.com/woe to get started with AG1 Next Gen and notice the benefits for yourself. That's drinkag1.com/woe. When COVID hit, we moved back here because and that was all what we thought might be temporary, because we were just figuring out where we're going to be and how long is this going to last. And then in the meantime, remember, because me and Christian were like staying at the farm, but I think originally we were like in the
You were staying at our house
office room, at y'all's house. And so then I was recording my podcast in my old bedroom. I like set up a little studio space. And then as COVID, continued to keep happening, I came up to the warehouse with you one day and saw some empty space and was like, can I maybe, because you said, I think we're going to move Phil and Jace up here to do Unashamed. I was like, can I get in on this? Like, can I maybe do a podcast studio up here? And so it kind of happened super organically. And it's crazy where we're at now, because I wouldn't have imagined that the podcast would grow to the point that, half this part of the warehouse would be the studio, and our team would grow so much. And, a lot of people have asked the question, like, why is it a new cast? Why are there new people? Why are some of the old family members not on it as much? And really because of the way that the business here has changed, the building here has changed. I think about, I used to watch Cake Boss. Like, I love the show Cake Boss. And, the show is, yes, Buddy's family and everything, but it's all centered around like this business, like the Cake Boss business. And whenever I went to New York, remember we drove to Hoboken, New Jersey, because I was going to that Cake Boss. I was trying one of Buddy's cakes. And I feel like it's a little bit similar in that it is about our family, the Robertson family, but it's around this warehouse, this business. And so I feel like that kind of anchors what the show is about. And then it's like all of our family members who are a part of that, and some who aren't a part of it, like Rebecca and John Reed. They don't work up here, but they're very much part of the show. It's just y'all's kids in this generation. Will and Abby, some fun things that everyone's going to get to see with Will and Abby and Rebecca and John Reed, as I've been watching the season a little ahead of everybody. I'm excited for people to get to. But yeah, there's still going to be family members as the season goes on that was on the first show that's going to make some fun appearances as we go, which is going to be really cool. The other thing that is new is, well, there's a lot of new things, but you see this, is that it is a new generation, which means y'all's generation is now the grandparents. You know, y'all didn't have grandkids the first time around. Now we all have kids and y'all are the grandparents. What has that looked like for you, Dad, being fully semi-retired as a grandpa? How has that changed your life?
Well, I guess I have, maybe a little more time to hang out and do stuff. And I think the production company likes they like it when I do stuff with the grandkids for sure. You know, they just like that dynamic. So, and that's been a lot of fun. Just seeing them. The first episode. Oh, okay. I think the second episode. When I take them out on a little adventure. That's one of the things I loved about Duck Dynasty, the original show, was just really hanging out with the family, and that at the time was all my extended family. So Uncle Si and Jason, just a lot of time that we wouldn't spend perhaps in that same format together constantly. I like that, and so I really enjoy that now with you guys, and but even with your children, you know, I think we would see the dynamics like when we were on vacation together, you know, because we'd all be in this one. Like thinking over the years, over the last decades, where you're stuck in this condo together, and so you really get to know. I'd get to know my nieces and nephews, and you know, and so it's kind of like that with the show, you know, where I've got certain situations where I've got all of them, and we may try some. So y'all may be like, okay, we'll see if you can handle this, just to see what's going to happen, and but that's been a lot of fun.
I feel like you see a whole new side of you with the grandkids, which is really sweet and fun because you're very silly and goofy, and what you probably used to get on to the guys for on the show, you're kind of like leading the charge with the grandkids, which is really funny. And it's so sweet because one of the things that Mom, I know you really cared about was this being a family show. And our kids, like Honey and Haven, love to watch it because, like I said, we get the episodes ahead of time. And last night, Honey was like, she said, is Duck Dynasty coming on tonight? And I was like, yeah, we can watch Duck Dynasty. And she starts quoting things Dad says on the show. Dad kind of goes through the nicknames of all the grandkids. And that stuck with them. They think that is the funniest thing. And Dad called one of the Ella Jabba, but he says Jabba.
Jabba.
And now Honey, even in her prayers, she'll be praying totally normal. And thank you, God, for KK. And thank you, God, for Doves. And thank you for Haven. And thank you for Jabba. It's so funny. So they're loving watching it. But yeah, Mom, talk about why it's so important for you that it is a family show.
Well, I think that was one of the things that people loved about it the first time around was we had so many comments of like, my 3-year-old loves it and my granddad loves it. It's just like, it brought a family together, you know, like and people would say, this is one of the only shows on television that we could all sit down and watch together. And we have sweet memories of things that we like to, like American Idol or Survivor. There's those shows that like we as a family watch together. And I think there is something kind of bonding about that. And you don't have a lot of that in television now. It's kind of like everyone's watching on their own screens, their own thing. And so I just felt like the first time around, that was just special to get to hear people say how it brought their family together. I mean, I'll never forget one lady, like tears, like she was literally crying. She said, in 17 years of marriage, this is the first show my husband and I have agreed on and we can watch together. So and it just bonded them in a way. So I wanted that for this show this time around too. And I think it's there. I think the kids are going to love it, but it's also, you know, it's an adult show. It's not like a kid's show, but kids love it and can watch it. You know, it's safe. You know, it's wholesome. You know, it's going to be fun. I mean, now sometimes the guys can get a little much, but
our husbands,
the husbands can get a little much. But no, it's super fun. And yeah, we've as some of our kids have gotten to watch a little bit of it, they proved that they love it too. So
yeah, and it's cool because Duck Dynasty is like still that thing for so many people. We have little kids come in the store all the time. I love Duck Dynasty. I watch it every single day after school. And their parents are like, oh yeah, we watch it every day. And it's crazy. I'm just like, it's still living on and families are still watching
And
it together all
college
the time.
students. I've been
hear it
hearing
all
that
the
lately,
time.
that like it's sweeping right now through college campuses. Like college students are all watching Duck Dynasty, the first one. And so I think college students are going to love this one as well. This one's hour-long episode, so that's different than the first time around. So it has a little bit different feel. And I think a more kind of updated feel, a little bit more like maybe
Natural,
authentic,
kinda,
natural feel. Yeah. We were talking about the other day about like what else has changed in our styles and our hair and makeup and all that. And it was like,
That's been updated.
I think the first time around, it was like, you were like, oh, we're on TV. We have to like look perfect and have our hair and makeup perfect and have the extensions and lots
Yes, you did.
lots going on.
Lots of accessories.
Lots of accessories. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. It's like,
Can we put some pictures on
it's
YouTube?
scary.
Yes.
No, it's so
I wanted
scary.
mom with that belt.
The belt with the
And
ring.
the fringe. I had fringe and a belt and
And
rings.
turquoise rings. It was
Anyway,
the brown and turquoise
back-
combo.
Back then, it was this like perception of like, oh, you're on television, like you have to look perfect and have to have all this or whatever. And this time around, and we're just like a lot more natural.
Oh, yeah.
a lot more
There's
like
one episode I'm literally sick in, and
Yeah.
I'm like laying on the couch, coughing, sneezing, no makeup. I look terrible. I'm taking
Yeah.
care of Haven. And it's like, well, they've seen me on my good days.
yeah,
they're gonna see
filming
me
some
on my
with
bad
us,
days.
just like having coffee in the morning, like just woke up, that kind of stuff.
And I look back and I had this big beard and I wore a bandana. All the time. Like every episode is
yeah,
crazy.
you've stayed pretty steady.
You've gone the other way though. Yours was more like unkept back then. Your beard
gonna
was like
say.
a little scraggly. Your hair was bigger and longer. Now it's a little trim.
Also,
And your style overall
Yeah.
is
style's
just
gotten better.
This is not meant to be a jab, but this is just a sincere question because I've never seen anyone like people be so okay with talking about someone's weight more than people talk about your weight to you. Like people always are like, "Oh wow, I thought you were gonna be way
I
bigger."
thought you were ginormous.
Yeah, like why do they do that to you? Maybe because Uncle Si made fun of you
because
so
they
much.
make fun of me, and
Yeah.
so you become bigger than life, so to speak, literally bigger than life. So I think my favorite thing, and I don't want to offend anybody who's ever done this, but they have. So I go to a town, and I'm speaking, and they'll say, "Oh, wait till you meet Carl. He looks identical to you." And then I see Carl, and I'm like,
it's the worst.
Carl is ginormous. Like, Carl weighs 400 pounds, and he has a bandana, and he has a beard. And I feel like that's where it ends.
That is so funny.
But that happens
a
everywhere I
lot.
go. It's
That
like,
does
oh,
happen.
I got the spitting image of you, and then I see this person. I'm like, oh no, is that how I look?
That happens a lot.
That's
there
the thing
is
on social
always
media
that
too.
social
Like
media.
on social media, it's so bad because people will tag you in things and just be like, "Oh my gosh, this is Bella Robertson's twin," and I'm like,
And they'll be like, I literally thought this was you, and tag their friend, and then you look at their friend and you're like, I don't quite see it exactly.
Wait, remember whenever you said my lookalike and it was like an old woman? We were like saying like, oh, who do we look like that's famous? And Dad says this old woman who had a cooking show for me, and I was like,
Who was it?
thank
Martha Stewart?
you.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't.
no,
You don't even know.
local.
It was a local cooking show.
Local cooking show.
And she was like 50 and I was 30 at the time. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's
And you said she was old.
Like, that's my lookalike. Like what? No.
That is
There were
hilarious.
similarities.
But yeah, they're
Well,
all
we
people
have-
do have like the compliments are like
Well,
they're
but-
nice, but sometimes it's like, oh, you're so much prettier in person
Yeah.
than you are on TV. You're like,
Wait a minute,
do I
what?
look bad on TV?
Yeah.
Like what do you?
Yeah.
I don't know how to take that, but
Mostly people just say you're a lot taller than I thought you were
They
going to
say
be.
that a lot.
Yeah,
You're
they're
a
like,
lot
oh, you're
taller.
way taller than I thought you were.
Well, I've
going
gotten everything. I've gotten shorter, bigger, thinner. You know, like I mean, everything. You know, like someone would come and go like, "Thought you were taller," which I'm like, I'm not. I don't know what do you say to that? You know, like
well, there are quite a few Willie wannabes in the world. Like our cousins were at Six Flags or somewhere a few years ago, and they saw a bigger guy, beard, bandana, and they're our cousins. Well, they went up to him and they said, "You look like Willie Robertson." He was like, "I am," and he took a picture with them.
what?
And they took a picture with him, and he totally just owned it. Like,
What? That's funny. I've
Smart.
never
He
even
was
heard that
wearing the
story.
American flag bandana. and
I
everything.
have to admit,
Oh my goodness.
one thing that I have done that I'm not proud of, but when people come up to me and they go like, "You look just like Sadie Robertson," I'm always like, "Really?" Like I get that a lot. I never say I am.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna
because
do?
I'm like,
So
that's weird. I'm not
awkward.
gonna be like,
I know.
I'm her.
I know.
Like,
That is so awkward. Yes.
so awkward. Friends, I want to invite you to join the scripture translation movement with the Illuminations 12 verse challenge. It is actually crazy to think about that there are over 3,000 different people groups, which is about 1 billion people who don't have access to scripture in the language they best understand, and more than 1,000 groups that don't have any access to scripture at all, not even one verse. Which is why I'm partnering up with Illuminations and the 12 verse challenge to help change that. Illuminations is this amazing group of 11 Bible translation ministries working together to help and end Bible poverty in our generation. What experts used to say would take over 150 years is now on track to be finished by 2033, which is so crazy. You can actually be a part of it too. For just $35 a month, you can help fund 12 verses of scripture every year for people who have never heard it before. Y'all, because of this podcast, we've actually been able to fund the equivalent of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John for people that didn't have the word in their language yet, which is just amazing. And now we get the chance to do it again. Honestly, this is one of the most pure-hearted organizations I've ever seen on the back end of things. They are doing the most incredible work to really fulfill the Great Commission that Jesus sent us to all the nations to preach the gospel, and this is a part of that, and we get to be a part of it. How cool that by 2033 in our lifetime, we could see this happen. But in order to see that happen, we need you guys to join the movement. So pull out your phone, click the link in the show notes, go to 12vc.com/sister and commit to the 12 verse challenge. Again, that's the number 1, the number 2, vc.com/sister. We are in this until everyone everywhere has access to the word of God. Visit the number 12vc.com/sister to join the movement today.
The other day when we were on vacation in Florida, and I drove John Luke's car back. Have I told this story?
Not on this podcast.
format?
No, you could tell it.
So I drive John Luke's car back, and I don't know if I should say, but it's been a while since I've driven a car that the tire was going flat, nothing worked, the headlights don't work, and so I'm just like, okay. And so I've got to go get the tire fixed, and so I pull up to this tire fixing station, and they're like, well, we'll try to get it today. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, no, bro. And then I was like, I've got to have this done now. And then I desperately needed the celebrity, because I figured at this place of work, somebody, I mean, I could throw a dart and hit somebody that watched Doug Dynasty.
Dad was.
But the dude's giving me nothing. He's just like, well, fill that thing out. So I put as big as I could, Willie Robertson, and my phone number. And so I give it to him. I'm like, go ahead and look at that form and make sure everything's okay. Make sure I spelled everything correctly. And then he's like, yep, get in line. I'm like, golly. And so I go out in the shop and I'm like, what's up, fellas? And they're all like, they're like, who is this guy?
He's like model walking across the whole parking
Trying to
lot.
get
I know it, and
recognized.
I'm trying. I'm like, nobody knows who I am in Florida, and I'm like at the tire pit. And so I go outside. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to sit here and wait all day. And the guy comes out and goes, "Are you the guy who took my form?" He goes, "Are you who I think you are?" I said, "I'm exactly who you think I
You're like,
am."
Yes.
Now, can you
Yes,
fix my
right.
tire?
And he goes, "Where's that car at?" And I'm like, "This is what I'm talking about right now. Let's go." And it was fixed in 30 minutes.
That is
The
hilarious.
perks
So
of
it
being a
is helpful at
celebrity.
times.
It is helpful. Sometimes, yes, you do admit you're like, that is actually when I got pulled over for a bad speeding ticket, and they're like, "Who's the owner of this car?" And I'm like, "My father, Willie Robertson."
You may know him as Boss Hog.
He's from a hit reality TV series called Dynasty.
Have you ever heard of it?
I know.
John Luke, actually, I got stopped in Arkansas.
That
And
was
John
where I
Luke
got
was
stopped.
just a little
Yeah.
kid. What's up with Arkansas? Mine's Mississippi. They always stop me in Mississippi. And the guy's like looking at me, and he goes, "Are you Willie?" And John Luke's like, he's probably 10 years old, and he has my face card, like my thing you signed. He goes, "Here's a photo right here if you'd like for to sign it."
Well, that was what happened. The cop
I
told me.
told Mom the other day, like, a few years ago, y'all changed all the insurance stuff to say an inconspicuous name. And now I'm like, every time I have to go in my registration, I'm like, this isn't even worth it anymore.
It's not helping me.
It doesn't say Willie Robertson anymore.
Yeah, I said to that cop, I said, Willie Robertson. And then he said, your dad is not Willie Robertson. And I said, yes, sir, I promise he is. I will Google him right now. I was like, I will Google a picture of me and him on something that you will see. I said, like, we don't get out of it, but something about you. You do have that maneuver up your sleeve. People either think you're homeless or they're like, you're Willie Robertson from Duck Dynasty. So that's not a bad, you're
It doesn't always work. One day he literally was bragging. He said,
bragging.
He said, I cannot get a ticket in Louisiana. And I was like, pride comes before the fall. I knew. I was like, he is about to get a ticket because he just said that.
He got a ticket the
Was
next
it the
day.
day
But he got it. It was in Mississippi. It was in
In
Mississippi. But still, I was like,
my record's still strong in Louisiana. It was in Mississippi, and the guy, he took my driver's license, but I didn't even have a chance to. He said driver's license. I went, and he walked off, and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even plead my case. And so I'm waiting, getting my facts in order of what I'm going to tell him. He comes back and just hands me it back. He said, have a good day. And it was a sheet of paper, which I thought a ticket was a ticket. And then I realized he gave me, that sucker gave me a ticket.
Yeah.
But we got thrown out.
It's about time for the revival. You need to get recognized a little bit more so your tires can stay good.
I do have the red, white, and blue bandana, though, in my vehicle.
Just in case of
Certain.
emergency. Throw it on.
In case I'm in a bit of a hurry driving through Mississippi and I throw that sucker on.
You're like,
need some more
pastors. Pastors are like that too, like local pastors. Like that's what Pastor Bill Dye was talking about. He's like, man, I get so lucky I get out of tickets because I'm somebody's pastor that they call in. Like he was talking about that. There's just certain people that can get out of tickets, and Willie Robertson's one of them, except for
now, yeah.
That's it.
Well, no, I didn't pay that. I haven't paid it. I got out of that one.
I had to go to the class on the Saturday all day. I've done it all.
Well, you
I've
needed
gone to court.
Yeah,
You're driving.
Dad probably lived a lot of life getting tickets before he could pull out a bandana.
Man, I got tickets for everything.
He did.
One time I stopped short. And I missed the person. I was like, ooh. And then two 2x4s just went flying off the top of my truck through the back windshield of a car right out here on this road.
I didn't even know that
There were
one.
ladies in her car and just two projectile 2x4s, like 12-footers straight through her, all the way to the front seat, in between like the seats.
What were you doing?
I got a ticket for unsecured load.
What were you taking the 2x4s for?
Well, you should have
I was
gotten
working at Camp
a
Chioka.
ticket for that. That was warranted.
Crying. Oh my gosh. Okay, back.
The lumber
2x4s.
company tied them down. It wasn't my fault. And I went to them and tried to get them to pay for all of it, and they didn't.
Oh my gosh.
You'd have had that bandana, you might have gotten it.
Oh, that was way pre-bandana.
Way pre-bandana
I had a beard
working
at the time.
anything. Oh my gosh. Okay, back to the show, which unfortunately shows none of Dad's driving or getting pulled over. Maybe that would just naturally
I know
happen.
what I want to talk about the show that I did not even know. That you two had never duck hunted.
Yeah.
Y'all have never been duck hunting.
No, and
That
do you
is
know though?
sad.
It is sad, but also the duck blind in our family didn't seem like a very inviting place. It wasn't like I said no. No one invited me.
Right.
Like,
I know. I know. That's
I mean,
sorry
it's
about
freezing
that.
cold and like 3 in the
Early
morning,
in the
which are
morning.
neither things that we enjoy.
Yeah. Y'all had deer hunted. Y'all did
We did
y'all
deer
did
hunt.
which Dad
Early
was
in the season, in the warmth, and also in the evening.
yes.
Those are the key to hunting
Yes.
for me.
Which Dad was really the deer hunter.
That is something I do regret. In
Well,
life.
I'm blaming
I wish
that
I got
on
to
your-
go duck hunting.
on Pep Off
With Pep Off Phil.
because he didn't care to have you on the duck blind. So,
No, he didn't. He didn't
yeah,
want
I mean,
us
he
in the
was-
duck
He
blind.
was really serious about
That was
it.
felt.
And so, yeah.
Later in life, as he got older, he got
No, you
like
could have
softer,
done it,
and
yeah,
he
when he
would
got
have
older.
when he got older, he got
Well,
softer,
Christian
and
and
he
Jacob
wanted
did.
people to come in the duck blind. But by that time, y'all had babies, or you were
Yeah,
off to
it
college, you were in
wasn't.
college, you were working, things like that. So things had changed by
Well, he
then.
wouldn't let us
But
hunt in
when
the
y'all were
evening.
kids, He was very serious about his duck hunting, and it wasn't like a place for kids necessarily. Yes.
There is one thing that has changed a lot in that generational gap from Pebble Field to us, meaning y'all in between, that didn't quite pass down. Because y'all, the first episode also mentions, like, we aren't as Robertson as, you know, maybe you would like. We hadn't been duck hunting. There are certain things that we hadn't done or carried on. And, you know, it's funny because there have been certain things in this show, this season with y'all hunting that I'm watching and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we cannot show that on TV. Oh, that's so gross, you know, like the hunting stuff. But then I go back and watch like Dynasty and I'm like, oh my gosh, they showed that. Like
They showed that in
frog
Dynasty, like-
skinning.
Oh, yeah.
Like frog skinning and just
Cleaning a
nasty
duck,
stuff,
picking a
cleaning
duck.
picking
Yeah.
a duck, which I was actually there for that. That was
Yeah.
so gross. And then I'm like, oh
remember
man, I
that.
forgot. Like we have gotten soft in some of those ways because that like grosses me out.
Gotten soft.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Yes. Yeah, I know. That taking y'all back to your like country southern roots a little bit, Dad is definitely in his semi-retirement trying
Well,
to do that a little
I'll
bit.
say for me, being married to Jacob, I am around it way more than I ever was before because of Jacob and also hearing about it all the time. And I work here and I'm constantly like watching videos from like Pablo Phil of like teaching how to use the duck call and all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like I know way more about it than I did like would have in high school when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
because of
Well,
Jacob,
I
thankfully.
think Dad shifted to deer hunting when y'all were kids, and so he didn't really.
He did take us deer hunting.
and of
that
course,
was fun.
he ran Duck Commander, and that was a part of our life as far as duck hunting. But his passion and love was deer hunting, so he did take all
And
deer
we did
hunting. But
Yeah.
but the duck hunting,
There's-
Well, the
just
duck
didn't
hunting was
happen.
down at and the duck hunting here was down at Pebble Fields, and at the time I was like, I ain't asking him to go, because he was just so because you can hunt ducks in the evening for sure. Phil just wouldn't let us do it on his property because he wanted them not to mess with them to get them ready for this. So it was always just a little complicated with him.
Yes,
so.
he's very calculated in it. You know, they work.
Yeah, and it
really
was his
hard.
place
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
rules and all that, and so.
Which, Christian and Jacob are really into it. But Christian is like, he's, the clean shaven, more clean cut, and even like clean hunter. Or like, I mean that in the sense like when, Jacob will cook all the meat, Christian, like we just do like the deer sausages on the grill, like it's still kind of like neighborhood
No,
style,
Jacob's
suburban style hunting. And then
Jacob,
he gives
brings
you.
a turkey in our front door, like wakes me up. Look, I'm like,
Yeah,
Get that out
Christian
of my
would
house right
never
now.
do that to me. But then he gave you all the backstrap the other day, and that was a win for all of us because then Dad cooks it better anyways. But I do feel like throughout this show, this season, you're going to see us like finding more of our Robertson roots because we've done a lot of stuff the past couple months that have been like, what you learned from Pep Off Phil and passing that down a little bit, which has been really cool. I mean, I won't give away what we're learning and what we've gotten to do, but it's been really fun. And I didn't even realize how far we have come until like I did watch Duck Dynasty, rewatched it, and was like, whoa, we were like so redneck and so country. And I guess going to like
that's so
LA and Nashville and like, I don't know, marrying Christian and my friends aren't like that, and y'all aren't super like that anymore. And you don't realize how traditions do, if you don't intentionally pass them on, then they do just kind of
They
fade.
get lost.
They
Yeah.
get lost. And I was like, wow, there is a lot there that was really fun that I want our kids to do. Like, I want, Honey to be able to catch a fish, find her own worms, that kind of
She
thing.
did catch
which
a fish the other day.
And
yes,
she's
actually.
learning.
And she's not scared of picking up worms, picking up snakes.
She literally
anything.
stepped
You don't wanna
on
be
a
near
snake
that
the other day.
fish. You don't want to be near that
Yeah,
fish.
she was
That
when the
picture's
fish.
so
taking a
funny.
picture. She's like
3 feet away from me.
but she
like,
picked up the worm, she got it out of the dirt to put it on her,
She was proud of
on the
herself for
hook
that.
and all that. So
Speaking of clean shaven, and on episode 1, I think I've actually forgotten about. I haven't watched it in a while. You'll see some hunting skills from y'all, and you'll see a lot of clean misses.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that.
well, and
Thank you.
that's
We're a
what
little
else
rusty.
was surprised. But y'all had shot a rifle, but you'd never shot
Crossbow.
a crossbow,
Maybe
but
a
never shot a shotgun, like a
when I went hunting
good
with you,
shot.
crossbow, and then and I guess a gun.
A gun.
Yeah.
Like
We
a
skeet
rifle,
shoot.
but not
The
like-
last time I did any kind of skeet shooting was on the first Dog Dynasty with Pebble Phil, which
Yeah.
would have been like 11, 12 years
Yeah.
ago. So I was a little
It's
rusty.
been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally thought I hit it. Y'all totally tricked me. I literally thought I hit it. I closed my eyes, which is
I
probably
do
so
have a little
dangerous,
beef
but-
with Jace though at the very first scene. If you have watched it, you'll see Jace says like none of your kids have beards, but John Luke and Will do have beards.
Yeah.
I'm like,
don't think
they have
he's-
their little clean
Will has
shaven
a
beards.
They're a little
I said,
tiny.
He
and
said
John
he-
Luke,
I have
John
a
Luke
little
and Will
beef,
both
too.
have
Luke
Luke
beards.
has a little scruff, but Will has a beard.
Will has a
I
He's
think
got a
John Luke
man
has a
beard.
full beard
That's
too right now.
Man beard. Well, maybe I haven't
He's
seen
in
Will
a
in a
full
minute.
beard.
Let me just
Have you
say,
looked at him
too, he
lately?
also said we look like we're doing anything but working. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're doing a lot more working than you were when you were up here.
Thank you.
Exactly.
My brother.
Thank you.
Okay, this has been so fun. For those who are listening, we are going to be doing more episode recaps. And I just got to say, I'm such a reality TV show fan myself. So, like Mom mentioned, watching Survivor is something that our family loves and kind of keeps us talking about something and having fun towards something. And I actually listen to their podcast. So, I love a good podcast after a show, hearing more of the inside scoop from the people. So, we'll definitely try to keep this up, do a little bit more episode recaps, and keep you on the loop of what happened behind the scenes as we were filming these things and kind of what's going on in our family life now. So thanks for being interested. Thanks for watching the show. Again, if you haven't seen it yet, it is on A&E on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central. Make sure you tell all your friends and your family and watch it together. That's what makes it so fun and so special. So guys, thanks for being on the podcast. We'll have to do it again soon.
This was fun.
I'll
Yeah.
be later.